haven't had lunch yet, so I genuinely apologize if you guys hear my stomach. It is rumbling. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to thank you for being here. My name is Vashti. I am an artist based out of Colorado, and I am here to motivate you to use art for your mental health. For me, art literally saved my life, and since I picked up the brush, I have yet to put it down, and it has changed my life in so many ways. So I am here to let you guys know that you guys can use art for not only your creative passion, but also as a good outlet, a healthy outlet for when you are struggling, when life throws you lemons. Art. Recently, I was having a mental breakdown, as I tend to do. I'm not gonna lie. I recently got diagnosed with ADHD, so I've been living my whole 28 years of life undiagnosed, unmedicated, untreated for ADHD. So that has really impacted my life and how I deal with stress, and it's not always have been in a good positive way. So picking up a paintbrush has really helped me channel my energy and channel my emotions. And so these are a couple things I have recently been keeping in mind, because I know how easy it is to compare your art to other people's. It's easy, especially in social media. You're scrolling constantly. You see so many talented people, and that's amazing. Like I never want to take away from that. I never want to diss anybody's art or not, like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't word well. That's another thing about me. I don't word well. What's the word? I don't want to not consume people's art because they took the time to create it and share it with us. And I love that. But at the same time, for people are like me, I compare myself to people a lot, and it can be really discouraging when I'm trying to make art for my mental health. I find it really hard to get out of that habit of comparing myself to people, comparing my art to people. I'm tired of that. I want to make art, so I'm going to make it no matter what. You don't have to share that art with anybody, but just keep these things in mind while you're creating. If you want to make good art for yourself, keep these things in mind. These are some things that I have found that have helped me in my artistic flow, but still feel genuine and stress-free, anxiety-free to me. These things have helped so much, and I wanted to share those things with you so that you can make good art, but art that speaks to you without any pressure, because I do not thrive when I feel pressured. If you guys find these tips helpful in any way, please definitely subscribe. So here are some tips on how I stopped trying to make good art and just started to make art, and in return, it came out good. So the first thing that I like to do when I am creating is put on the best playlist. I am an audio girly. Like any type of music, any type of like audio book, satisfying sounds. I'm one of those people. I love a good audio. And when I can feel inspired or feel moved in some way, I've noticed that my art just reflects it in so many ways that I am not even focused on creating. I'm just creating, and I'm just like existing really in that moment. So find yourself a good playlist, whatever that is to you, whatever that is in that moment, because it also changes day to day. Like I listen to all kinds of music, so it's not like it's the same every time. I have to kind of adjust to what my mood is. Sometimes I could be listening to Disney or sometimes I'll be listening to like heavy metal. It depends on my mood. Find the playlist that works for you, and if that's nothing, then that's nothing. Isolate your surroundings when you're about to create. So find a quiet room, go to your room, go to the dinner table, just wherever is quiet to you, and create. I know this might sound weird, but I have gone to the closet, put on my little light, and drew. I'm a single mom of two, so finding a quiet place sometimes is really, really hard. So I have to kind of just like finesse it a little bit. And sometimes that's a quiet closet that I can just create and get lost in the process. I struggle with disassociating a lot of the time, and that goes for my day-to-day life. Like out in the open, I do not do well in crowds, and so I will unfocus my mind, my eyes, everything. I will just unfocus everything so I don't get caught up in the details of life around me. That can be a very negative thing, but I have found when I'm creating that it has been the most positive thing that has ever happened. Disassociating or unfocusing on what you're actually doing. Don't think too hard about painting. You shouldn't be thinking about painting. You should just be painting. I think that is a big thing for me, is like I try to be good at painting. I want to be good at painting, but I feel like trying to be good at painting makes me not good at painting because I'm so focused on if this is perfect, if I put it just like that, then it will be perfect. But my favorite paintings I've ever done has been when I have unfocused my mind and have just painted, which kind of goes into my next tip. Focus, if you're gonna focus, focus only on the shapes and the values of what you're painting. Good artists, good paintings it's not what you think you see, it's what you see. And a lot of the time we as people, when we first are starting to draw and paint, we paint what we think we see because we're so used to our minds filling in the blanks that that's what we think we're seeing, but it's not. So when you want to focus, unfocus on what you're actually looking at to see the shapes of things and the values of things. I have been doing a little exercise where I will think of an object. Like I'll think of a dog. I don't do animal portraits, so this is kind of like perfect. So I'll think of a dog, and I'll see what he's doing. So in my head, he is sitting down on his butt. So a dog sitting down on his butt. What does that look like in my head? What shape is he? I think of him as a triangle and a circle. That's his head. And that's his body, a triangle. As he is sitting down, that's basically what it is. And then 2 squares at the bottom is his body. That's basically a dog. And then if you want to add his tail, then that's a longer rectangle. You drew a dog because of the simple fact that you're just drawing shapes. I used to do this a lot with eyes. I love drawing eyes. That is a big thing in my art where I either draw eyes or I don't. And that for me is just an artistic choice that I make, where eyes to me are windows to the soul. I feel like as somebody who struggles with eye contact, I hate people looking at me because I hate to be perceived, so I try to not look at you. But I love to draw eyes because I do believe that they're how we see things, obviously. So I feel like incorporating that to my art has just been an artistic thing that I do, where it's, if I draw eyes in my painting, then that means that I want you to connect with the character or the message of the piece. But if I don't draw eyes, or if they're blank, if they're whited out, or if they're closed in some way, then it's like I want you to put yourself in that art piece, and you are the center of that art piece. So all that to say, I had to think about what eyes actually were, and I would draw them in a way that was not correct, not accurate. And so I had to unfocus of what I thought I saw to what I was actually seeing, and that made the biggest difference. Not trying to make them good, but trying to just paint what I saw, only what I saw. Another thing that I think has really improved my art is painting in shorter painting sessions. Again, I'm a full-time artist, so I paint all day long. But when I am painting for myself, I have found that I do so good when I start to paint in shorter or drawing in shorter time frames. My brain doesn't have enough time to overthink the details of things. I only think about the most important shapes, like I said, for the dog. In that instance, what did that take? a couple minutes, but that's the basis of the skeleton of a dog. And in that moment, you're getting the most important information instead of dwelling on the tiny little details, drawing one leg at a time, drawing a head, filling in the head, getting all the details of the head, and then going to the next body. No, for me, I feel like the best thing you could do is fill up your canvas or whatever you're doing as fast as possible and working from big to small. I was so ashamed and embarrassed to show my painting process for a while because you see so many aesthetically pleasing processes that you think that's how you're supposed to be creating. And for some, that works. They need it to be like meticulous and planned and stuff. But for me, I am a hot mess. I am chaotic and my brain is chaotic and I work through things and problem solve. Painting for me is problem solving. And I love that about it. So painting and drawing in shorter windows has made me realize the important pieces of things that I'm trying to draw and focusing on those before I add the details, because I can get so lost and confused if I focus on one little thing at a time and it's like hours later I'm still working on the eyes, you know? Whereas if I time myself and I'm like, okay, well, you only have 5 minutes to draw, so figure it out. And that has made a huge difference. I have a sketchbook that is geared towards 5-minute drawings, and I will do a separate video about how I do all of that, but it has really helped with just my confidence when it comes to knowing how to draw, knowing how to paint, limiting the time frame in which I create. And obviously it's not going to come out like a perfect painting in 5 minutes. It's not going to look like a masterpiece in 10 minutes, but it will help you start to realize your confidence with knowing details and picking up the important information quickly, which in turn will make your art good in the long run. And my last tip of the day is find a feeling and build off of it. Like I said earlier, art isn't really about at least for me, art isn't about the finished product. I truly believe that when I create for me, it's about the process. It's about turning something that was nothing into something beautiful or something that I dreamt of and bringing it into fruition. So I will start to create something and I will be feeling something. Like, for instance, in this, I was feeling a little sad. I was feeling a little discouraged. I was feeling a little unmotivated. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start painting and whatever happens, happens. And I honestly found this tiny little Lego and I was like, oh my God, yes, that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this Lego. So I thought, I'm going to paint it. So I started painting this Lego and I never painted a Lego before. I've never painted anything like this. But because I was lost in the feeling of it, it came out so good. And I was like, oh my God, I just painted that. I painted glass. I painted see-through. I painted all of this stuff and I do not know how. I don't know how I did it. I didn't even see the picture. I was talking to my girlfriend after because I texted her like, do you like this painting? And she was like, oh my God, it's so cute. And I was like, I didn't even see it as a whole piece because I was so focused on just values and shapes and just like my feelings of feeling sad and letting all of that out that I did not even see it as a complete picture until I went back and I took a picture of it and I looked at the picture and I was like, that's what that looks like. Like, I know that might sound weird, but I literally had no idea because I was not focused on the actual painting, more so painting. My most favorite paintings have come from not knowing what or how I did it. I feel like we put way too much pressure on our art and to look great, and when the purpose of painting is to express ourselves. However, that manifests to you. So I don't get caught up in being the perfect painter or this being the perfect painting. And more so, how did this process make me feel? Do you feel it needs more of this? Do you feel it needs more of that? The reference can only take you so far. And so I try not to focus so much on the reference, more so, again, on what I'm trying to convey in that moment of my feelings. You have to make the painting you, and no one has to tell you how to be you. You just be you, you know? And as you are just you, so should your art. Your art should just be your art, no expectations, no comparisons. You shouldn't have to worry about if it's good art. The fact that you made it at all makes it good. The fact that you tried at all makes it great. There are so many people out there who said that they wanted to paint today, that they wanted to draw today, that didn't. So you're already ahead of the curve. You're already creating, and what makes it good is the fact that you decided to create it. So I encourage you guys today to not focus on making good art. Focus on your feelings and focus on getting that onto the canvas, however that manifests. It doesn't even have to be a canvas. However art manifests to you, get that out in that way. And like I said, first, find that playlist or find that silence, find that peace, set yourself up in an environment that will encourage and influence success. Those are my tips today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I finally have made it to 500 subscribers, and I'm so beyond blessed that you guys are here rocking with me. Even though sometimes I'm inconsistent, I know that, but I'm working on it. So don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. I won't give up on you. Okay, this is all a learning process, so we're all learning together. So I have struggled so much with finding a good mental process for creating for myself. Again, it's hard to switch off my artistic brain for me versus for my work, but it has really helped with my work flow as well, with just remembering that at the end of the day, I'm creating art for myself. If people like it, that's cool for them. If they don't like it, that's cool for them too. It's about me and my expression and my feelings and what I'm trying to get out of. So if you guys found that video helpful, like I said, subscribe down below. I would love to have you guys here for my artistic journey. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. And until next time, bye, beautiful beings.